Remember how we got one of the best Teen Titans cartoons that was famous for character-driven storytelling, exploring mature themes, and stellar animation that gave every single person in place a unique sense of color, vibrancy, and personality? Well, what if I were to tell you that James Gunn is basing his upcoming Teen Titans DCU movie on this famous lineup of characters? Like a lot of you, I was really excited to hear that we'll get to see the Teen Titans movie on the big screen. However, given the state of DC Comics, James Gunn's DCU, and Hollywood in general, I became skeptical of the Teen Titans joining the DCU. In this video, I'm going to be like Tony Soprano in therapy, but instead of bitching about my mom, I'm going to be bitching about James Gunn's upcoming Teen Titans movie. And I'll be fair, of course, I'll also talk about why we should be excited for this movie. Cause you gotta have things to look forward to, am I right?
Alright, I'm only gonna say this once. Booyah!
But before we move on, please be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. You don't want to miss out on our awesome content. Now, even though this Teen Titans movie is in the early stages of development, some key things are making me concerned. The first major problem is how the creatives are going to deal with this thing called time. Let's say hypothetically that James Gunn casts all of these young actors perfectly for his upcoming Teen Titans movie. Even if he does this, he's going to have to greenlight a bunch of Teen Titans projects before they age out of the roles. Part of the reason why Shazam never got a third sequel was because the kid actors were starting to age out of the roles. Well, Shazam Fury of the Gods did bomb at the box office, but still, even if it did well, it would have been hard to make another Shazam sequel. The whole concept of these stories is that these kids get to turn into these superpowered adults whenever they say the word Shazam. This concept gets harder to pull off and is way less fun when these kid actors age into young adults. So the same issues should be taken into consideration when the casting starts for Teen Titans. If they cast a bunch of 15 or 16-year-olds in the first Teen Titans movie, they better somehow stay looking like teenagers in the next couple years, cause it usually takes around 2 or 3 years for a sequel to come out. And let's be real, fans really care about this sort of stuff. Fans were quick to point out that Robin looked like he was having a midlife crisis in that Teen Titans show.
Fuck Batman.
So yeah, DC, if you're listening, make sure you greenlight a few Teen Titans projects quickly, because before you know it, these teenage actors won't be teenagers anymore. Now, to be fair, a lot of young DC Comics sidekicks have aged into independent young adult superheroes. In the Rebirth continuity, Dick Grayson, Starfire, and Cyborg are now young adults. So it would be cool to see young sidekicks grow into independent superheroes in James Gunn's DCU. It's just that this leaves us with a small window to see these characters as teenagers in live action projects. So if the creatives choose to go down this route, we'll only have at most 2 or 3 stories in the DCU where the Teen Titans are actually teens, which I have mixed feelings about. There's a plethora of awesome Teen Titans storylines in the comics, so I definitely want to see more than 2 or 3 story arcs in James Gunn's DCU. But in my opinion, I think it would work better if we got another Teen Titans live action TV show. Sure, we already got a live action Titan show, but let's be real, that show was a complete mess. Like I said earlier, Robin looked like he had a midlife crisis, Beast Boy wasn't fully green like he was in the comics, Cyborg was not even in the show, and Starfire was dressed in, a pretty interesting way. Sure, there was some good moments in that series. The episodes that covered Superboy and Hawk and Dove's origin stories were unexpectedly pretty amazing. But everything else was bland, character arcs were messy, and the characterizations were just flat out terrible to begin with. The Dick Grayson in the show had to be the worst Dick Grayson I've ever seen in my entire life. Instead of being hopeful, optimistic, and lifting people up, he was overly serious, kept secrets from his teammates, and just bossed people around until they got pissed off at him. The only thing that they got right about the character was that he was really great with the ladies. They butchered Tim Drake. I guess instead of training to become Robin, he just decided to become Robin one day. He was so bad at it that he died at one point in the series and got brought back to life because I guess it's a comic book show. And after training one day with the Red Hood, he all of a sudden became an amazing fighter. Batman was barely in the show, but when he was, his character took complete 180s. The best example of this is when he breaks his no-killing rule and he finally kills the Joker. And need I say more about Jason Todd? Batman avenged his death, but for some reason, when he comes back to life, he blames his death on the Titans. He went solo on a mission against the Joker, even though everyone told him not to, and when he came back to life, he decided to take out all of his angers and frustrations out on the Titans. I swear the creatives on this show were just making stuff up as they went along. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that this new Teen Titans project should be adapted into a TV show as opposed to a movie. The Titans show already set the bar pretty low, so an okay Teen Titans show would be amazing by comparison. Also, adapting this into a TV show would help with the child actor problem that they're going to run into. Let's say that you cast a couple of 15 or 16-year-olds for a live-action Teen Titans show. If the creatives do this, they'll be able to do a lot of Teen Titans stories depending on the amount of episodes that will be ordered for the year. And they won't have to worry about the actors aging out of the roles. Let's say that HBO Max orders 6 or 8 Teen Titans episodes. The first episode could be about these young heroes bonding over how they want to be taken seriously as superheroes or something like that. Then they could defeat some supervillain like Mad Mod or Dr. Light and prove that they can operate as a team together. Then the second episode could adapt the classic Ravager storyline where Deathstroke starts his vendetta against the Titans. Basically, Grant Wilson, Deathstroke's son, blames the Teen Titans for the destruction of his apartment caused by one of their earlier fights. So he made a deal with the villainous organization Hive, who gave him his powers similar to his dad. Grant took up the codename Ravager and carried out an attack on the Teen Titans on behalf of Hive. However, the process that gave him his powers was unstable, as it accelerated his metabolism too much, leading to his death by cellular burnout during the battle. Ever since his son's death, Deathstroke blames the Titans and swears revenge on them, setting up his long-running vendetta against them. In the next couple of episodes, the Teen Titans can go on some adventures while Deathstroke is plotting against them. He could recruit Tara and manipulate her into acting as a double agent to the Titans. And this could build up to the classic Judas Contract storyline in the finale where Tara betrays the team and sets them up for an ambush from Deathstroke and Hive. I'd much preferred if James Gunn adapted the Teen Titans into a TV show because there needs to be a build-up to classic storylines like the Judas Contract and the return of Trigon. Plus, it would be much easier to introduce other DC Comics characters if they went through the TV route. For instance, there's a storyline in the Marv Wolfman run where the Teen Titans crossed over with the Doom Patrol. Beast Boy develops survivor's guilt when he learns that his old team went on a mission and died. So he sets off with the Titans to see if any of them survived. He managed to find Robot Man and faces off against the Brotherhood of Evil. There's also some storylines where the Teen Titans face off against Mento, a former Doom Patrol member whose sanity completely fell apart after using his helmet for too long. His helmet amplifies his mental abilities, giving him telepathic and telekinetic abilities. Beast Boy really hates this guy as he was a borderline abusive father figure to Gar. Anyways, the point I want to make here is that I want to see a bunch of Teen Titans stories in 1 year as opposed to getting 2 or 3 stories as movies in the span of 6 years. And to be honest, I'm convinced that we're going to get a Teen Titans TV show as opposed to a movie, given what's been happening over these past couple years. For those of you who don't know, there's been a bunch of superhero movies that have not been performing well due to a number of factors. As of me making this video, the Marvels, Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four did not achieve profitability at the box office. Now, a lot of people look at that and point to the decrease in quality of these Marvel projects, which is a totally fair point to make. If these movies are not going to be any good, why should anybody bother to watch them? But I'd argue that there's another problem that's making these movies bomb. Now, even though this summer's Superman movie did achieve profitability as of me making this video, it was not a major blockbuster hit. In other words, it did not reach the $700 million mark, which is pretty crazy to think about because all of James Gunn's old Guardians of the Galaxy movies each passed the $700 million mark. If a franchise as recognizable as Superman is not making as much profit as the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know there's something up in the entertainment industry. Now, it could be because the tickets for movies are just way too expensive these days. As we all know, over these past couple of years, the prices of pretty much everything went up while wages have barely kept pace. So a lot of families and casual audiences just opted to wait until these movies came out on streaming services. So given the fact that these studios know about this, they're probably going to play it safe these next couple of years. They're probably not going to invest $400 million into superhero movies with a niche following like Thunderbolts. Instead, to achieve profitability, they'll probably produce movies that are less niche like Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. Now, you may disagree with me on this, but I don't think that the Teen Titans are as recognizable to casual audiences as DC's Trinity. Even though I love the Teen Titans, even I can't deny that they're pretty niche. So either one of two things are going to happen. Either James Gunn will make a really low budget Teen Titans movie, or he'll opt to develop this as a TV show. Which, let's be real, I think we're all in the mood for a proper Teen Titans TV show by now. This project is still in the very early stages of development, so pretty much anything can happen. I will say this though, I think that James Gunn will absolutely nail the tone of Teen Titans. Like or hate James Gunn, but he always goes out of his way to give so much personality to every character and place in his movies. In the old Teen Titans cartoons, even the most minor one-dimensional villains had so much personality. Everything from the color scheme of the costumes to the way that each character talked and presented themselves got your attention. After watching his latest Superman movie, I'm confident that James Gunn can pull this off. The last thing that us fans need are super dull and bland characters like what we got in that live-action Titan show. And even though it looks like Dick Grayson is not going to lead this version of the Teen Titans in the DCU, I'm glad that Tim Drake or Damian Wayne will get their time to shine. Both of them always got solid character development when they were on the Teen Titans. Tim really grew his confidence and leadership skills during Jeff Johns' run, and it was cool seeing him go from a kid with imposter syndrome to a dude who got massive respect from powerful metahumans like Superboy, Wonder Girl, and Impulse. And Damian was pretty great during his time on the team. His lack of social skills and the fact that he always takes things to such extremes made him a really fun character to watch. After working with his Titans, he managed to let go of some of his dominating, controlling, and extreme tendencies. It's pretty early to speculate at this point, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see who will lead this new version of the Teen Titans. But what do you think? How do you think this new Teen Titans project will turn out? Which storyline do you think they should adapt? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, thanks a million for watching. Please be sure to give a like and subscribe to your favorite comics so that you won't miss out on our awesome content. Stay good.